interesting topic to see how the state fair has developed over the years into the into the rides, into the wonderful state fair foods that you can try throughout the year. So we do have Mr. Kent from the state North Carolina State Fair today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'm going to let you talk about the history of the North Carolina State Fair and what we can look forward to this year.
Thank you so much, Lori, and thank you everyone for joining us. I look forward to sharing with you today. The North Carolina State Fair is the largest 11-day event in North Carolina. We attract about 1 million attendees each year. The fair is the host to many diverse activities, musical acts, as Lori mentioned, the numerous food vendors that we all enjoy, games, booths, carnival rides, commercial and agricultural exhibitors. Our fair is managed by and produced by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and we are consistently ranked as one of the top 20 fairs in North America. The 2021 version of our state fair will kick off on October the 14th. It is an 11-day event, as mentioned, so October 14th through 24th. And this year's theme, I think you'll understand, is worth the wait. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But as Lori said, the topic for today is Beyond the Bright Lights of the Midway. So the North Carolina State Fair is focused on celebrating our state's agricultural heritage. In 1853, the State Agricultural Society held the first state fair. It was a 4-day-long fair, and the largest attendance, single-day attendance, was 4,000 fairgoers. Though the first state fair took place 168 years ago, the fair this year will actually be the 153rd staging of the event. Over the past 168 years, the state fair has endured a few hiatuses because of Civil War, World War II, and changes in operators, and of course, most recently, the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, after the State Agricultural Society disbanded in 1925, the fair was not held in 1926 or 1927. After that, the fair was placed under the control of the Department of Agriculture in 1928 and moved to its present location. So I mentioned the most recent cancellation. In 2020, due to COVID-19 pandemic, we did have to cancel the fair for the first time since World War II. We made that announcement on July the 29th of 2020 after months of consideration. The decision to cancel the fair was based on safety and health of our visitors, vendors, competitors, and staff. The current COVID-19 statistics in North Carolina at the time of the decision, contracts that could not be canceled at the last minute without a huge financial impact, and the long-term financial health of the state fair led us to that decision. We did create a Fair Fun at Home website so that our fans could enjoy some activities as they were staying at home during the pandemic. We've held several drive-through fair food events here at the fairgrounds, as well as a walk-up food event in October, the dates of the original fair. We produced a So Unfair 2020 t-shirt in partnership with the North Carolina Pork Council to benefit the youth livestock programs here at the fair. But the junior livestock shows did continue in 2020. We did those in a stretched out format over more days so that we had less people here on the grounds at any given time. And we had no spectators, but it was great to see the youth be able to show their projects that they had started earlier in 2020 in anticipation of the 2020 State Fair, and would have been a very huge disappointment to them if they had not been able to show. So today, the State Fair has become a traditional fall-time event that aims to educate all North Carolinians about the importance of agriculture. We are an agricultural fair. The importance of agriculture to our heritage and to our economy. Our mission is to showcase and promote the state's agriculture, agribusiness, arts, crafts, and culture through the annual fair. The fair offers the agricultural community a venue to showcase its crops, its livestock, and new technology. The fair also is an opportunity for the state's ever-increasing urban population to learn about agriculture through education and competitive exhibits in the areas of livestock, horticulture, cooking, folk art, and much more. Each year, we give out more than $600,000 in prize money through our competitions. Our fairgrounds complex consists of 344 acres of land. The developed portion has multi-purpose building space ranging from 2,500 square feet to 100,000 square feet, a total of 398,000 square feet of enclosed space that we use year-round. We also have full-service camping year-round and numerous unique grounds areas that are available for private and public events. The fairgrounds is also the home of the state's largest indoor flea market, the Raleigh Market, which operates every Saturday and Sunday, except during the month of October. So from sporting events to trade shows, wedding receptions, to camping, State Fairgrounds hosts a wide variety of events, conferences, and exhibits every year. Because of our roomy facilities, great location in West Raleigh, excellent on-site parking, and award-winning landscape, the fairgrounds is a popular rental spot. We have more than 500 public and private events produced here every year. Many of those have over 20,000 attendees themselves. A few of those, for example, would be the Southern Farm Show, which is in February every year, the International Auto Exhibit, the Dixie Deer Classic, Kiss Exchange Consignment Sale, Creek Festival, and La Fiesta del Pueblo. As a self-supporting operation, the fairgrounds generates revenue by renting out its facilities for events throughout the year and by operating the annual state fair. The fairgrounds does not receive appropriated dollars for maintenance, salaries, or operations. We self-produce 2 events a year. Of course, the State Fair in October, but we also produce the Got to Be NC Agriculture Festival in May. Other events throughout the year are produced by promoters who rent the facilities for those events. Year-round, our attendance at the fairgrounds and our 500 events is about 3 million, with about 1 million of that being for the annual fair. One thing that we're very proud of at the State Fair is the economic driver that we have become. Our events offer many businesses, especially small businesses, an opportunity to market to a broad audience. For example, a home show may have 400 different businesses showcasing what they can do for potential customers. And of course, the State Fair drives economic opportunity for the vendors, the organizations that participate, as well as surrounding businesses. Any questions at this point? I'll be glad to entertain questions along the way, and we'll get into a little timeline after this.
Does anyone have a question so far? If you're joining us from at home, if you don't mind, you can type your question in the Q&A, or you can type it into the chat session. Okay. I guess if you want to move into the timeline. Okay.
So I think a good way to look at the history here at the State Fair is to walk through time. And that's what I'll do and share a few highlights with you, starting back in 1853. As I mentioned earlier, the State Agricultural Society held the first state fair. It was 4 days long, and it was located on a site just east of the state capitol. Then in 1861, through 1868, there was no state fair due to the Civil War and Reconstruction period. In 1873, when the fair was just 20 years old, the fair moved to a larger site near NC State University. That site is currently the Raleigh Rose Garden. In 1884, electricity was first used at the fairgrounds. In 1891, we hosted our first Midway ride. It was the Switchback Railway, which was constructed here on the fairgrounds. In 1900, the first food booths started to pop up on the fairgrounds. They were run by churches and civic groups as fundraisers. In 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt visited and spoke to fairgoers. We've had quite a history of visits by both sitting presidents as well as presidents before or after their time in office. The currently of the living former presidents, all living former presidents have visited the North Carolina State Fairgrounds at one time or another. We have not had the current sitting president visit yet, but would anticipate that that may happen in the near future. In 1925, the Agricultural Society disbanded, and there was no fair held in 1926 or 1927. In 1928, the fair moved to its current site here in West Raleigh. The commercial and education buildings are our oldest buildings here that were constructed for the fair. Those were constructed at that time. And also at that time, the fair was placed under the control of the Department of Agriculture. But then 5 years later, in 1933, the fair was leased to George Hammond for operation on a commercial basis. That lasted for 4 years until in 1937, when Governor Carr Scott took over and became governor. He returned the control of the state fair to the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. In 1942, the fair closed due to World War II, and it was 1946 before it reopened. As we go through the timeline, you'll hear some of your what might be your favorites here at the fair and their long history. The Folk Festival, which is a showcase for traditional North Carolina music and dance, started in 1948. In 1950, the Village of Yesteryear opened. That is in the Holzhauser building now, and is a building full of craftsmen showing and demonstrating and selling their crafts. In 1951, we opened the Youth Center back on back part of the fairgrounds with 2 dormitories, which could accommodate 128 farm children who came to exhibit and participate in our livestock and judging contest. In 1952, the State Fair Livestock Pavilion was completed. It boasted the world's first column-free roof. You may not recognize the name State Fair Livestock Pavilion because in 1961, it was renamed the J.S. Dorton Arena. The cost of constructing Dorton Arena in 1952 was about $16.21 per square foot. Any of you that have built a home or do construction will know that's quite a bargain in today's dollars. In 1954, the state's new educational television station, WUNC-TV, aired its first broadcast from the Dorton Arena, or at that time, State Fair Arena. and that was on opening day of the 1954 State Fair. In 1965, African American and white 4-H groups competed together at the fair for the first time. In 1970, we started the Century Farm program, Century Family Farm program. And that is a program that honors families who have maintained ownership of their family farm for 100 years or more. And now we even have a bicentennial family farm program for those families that have had ownership of farmland for 200 years. In 1975, the Jim Graham building was completed. Also, in 1975, the Pitzer Heritage Circle acquired its first historical structure, a 18th century schoolhouse. If you've been to the fair in recent years, you have seen that that area is an area that over the last 5 or 6 years, we have done quite a bit of work adding a half a dozen log structures that we've brought onto the fairgrounds to enhance that area. It's a beautiful area. People enjoy going there just to kind of get out of some of the rush of some of the other areas of the fair. In 1976, President Gerald Ford spoke to fairgoers. For the fans of Howling Cow ice cream, in 1978, the North Carolina State Food Science Club served its first ice cream cone. In 1983, we added the Governor James B. Hunt Jr. Horse Complex, where we can house up to 900 horses, and we do host state fair horse shows concurrently with the state fair. In 1992, President George Herbert Walker Bush addressed fairgoers. In 1996, prior to the opening of the fair, on September 14th, President Bill Clinton hosted a meeting in the Jim Graham building to address workers who were using the fairgrounds as an emergency staging area to clean up the disaster caused by Hurricane Fran. Moving a little bit more into our recent years, in 2005, current commissioner Steve Troxler, that was his first year, and he invited fairgoers to put up the barn in Heritage Circle. That year we started, we do have a operating wood-fired log tobacco barn where we do cure a barn of flue-cured tobacco each year. We put it in on the first Friday and cure it throughout the week. In 2006, we hosted our first Military Appreciation Day, where we allow active duty military and their families free admittance to the fair. In 2008, we added a day to the fair, the first time that the fair had been lengthened in 22 years to become its current 11-day event. We do open at noon on the first Thursday and run through the following Sunday. 2008 is also when we started our social media campaign through various social media channels. In 2010, the North Carolina State Fair exceeded 1 million visitors for the first time, a level that we have achieved 4 times over the years. In 2014, the fair's first ever military parade was held on Military Appreciation Day, where we featured a Bradley fighting vehicle and about 100 reenactors representing North Carolinians involved in military conflicts throughout history. In 2015, we went to a music program we call Homegrown Music Fest, where all of our musical acts on our stages, all the stages during the fair, have a North Carolina connection. They're either live in North Carolina, they're from North Carolina, or in some way are connected to our state of North Carolina. We have continued that program to today, and the 2021 fair as well will host all North Carolina music. In 2016, the State Fair flyer was introduced. That was the first permanent ride on the fairgrounds. There's a chairlift that runs across our Midway. Very popular to come to the fair, ride the flyer, and kind of plan your day as you ride the flyer, and you can get a bird's eye view of the things you're going to do the rest of the day. In 2017, the Public House opened in Heritage Circle, offering samples from 80 different North Carolina breweries and wineries throughout the 11 days. That was our first introduction of having alcohol served here at the State Fair. And we continue that today. In 2021, it will be relocated from where it has been since 2017 in Heritage Circle. It will be located this year on the south side of Dorton Arena in the south side lobby. In 2018, my predecessor, Wesley Wyatt, retired in February, and I was named the State Fair Manager. So this year will be my third fair as Fair Manager. It should be my fourth, but with cancellation of 2020, this will be the third fair that I'm responsible for. That year, we did have two hurricanes come in the days leading up to the fair. And we actually closed opening day, opening Thursday. We did not open because Hurricane Michael was passing through. But we bounced back. We had two record-setting single days during that fair, and still had a good attendance. That year, we also did State Fair Cares, which was an initiative for us to raise money to use the State Fair for the opportunity to raise money for the victims of Hurricanes Florence and Michael. State Fair has a long history of charity and civic responsibility. We do each year host a Hunger Relief Day on the second Thursday of the fair, where visitors can get in the fair for 6 cans of food, which goes to the food banks of Central and Eastern North Carolina. And that has been quite successful. It is the largest single day food drive to benefit the food bank. We have a change in our sponsor for that this year. Smithfield Foods has come forward as our new Hunger Relief Day sponsor beginning in 2021. We look forward to working with them. In 2019, the State Fair Skygazer, the tallest mobile Ferris wheel in North America, came to the State Fair for the first time. At over 155 feet tall, it sat along Hillsborough Street and soared high above Dorton Arena, which at its peak is 89 feet. So it was about 60 feet towering over Dorton Arena. And we've talked about 2020. One of the hardest decisions that we could have made. We know and are very proud of what the North Carolina State Fair means to so many people. On that day, in announcing that decision, the first thing that I did was call a meeting of the State Fair staff. If you think about what the fair means to so many, the vendors, the competitors, the visitors, the State Fair staff, that's what we do. And I wanted to make sure that staff understood that it was recognized what canceling a fair meant to them and all the hard work that had already gone into preparing for the event, and to acknowledge that we simply would not be able to move forward in 2021, in 2020. In 2021, we are full speed ahead with planning. We are 57 days from opening, noon on Thursday, October 14th. The State Fair, while we're proud to be the State Fair, we're proud to be the host, the promoters of this event. It takes so many people to put it together. I like to say that the State Fair is a lot of pieces coming together to make the whole that you see, from the crews that set up the individual rides to the 4-H groups that set up their exhibits, the vendors that come with their food booth and spend days just stocking and cleaning and getting ready. The tent providers that come in first to put down tents for people to come. The so many staff we have. We hire about 600 seasonal workers to help put on the fair, from ticket sellers to ticket takers, security personnel, the traffic control, parking, so many things to put on an event that is attended by 1 million people in 11 days. We truly do become one of the largest cities in North Carolina for those 11 days. We have as many as 150,000 people visit in a single day. And that is quite a lot of people to get in and get out safely in an orderly manner. And to get their trash hauled when they leave. A lot of logistics, a lot behind the scenes, so that the fair goer the next day gets the same experience that the fair goer the day before. For 2021, we're making a few changes and shifting things around. Dorton Arena, which has hosted concerts and the folk festival in recent years, is going to become the North Carolina Got the NC Agriculture Pavilion. If you visited in recent years, Got to be NC has been in a tent out front of the Scott Building. And this year we're going to move that onto the main floor of Dorton Arena to showcase our own. That is what we're about, is agriculture in North Carolina. So we're going to take over that floor and bring in our Got to be NC members to share their merchandise. We'll have a cooking stage. So that's going to be a great change. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the public house with North Carolina craft beer and North Carolina wines will be in the south lobby of Dorton sampling. So we look forward to producing this year's fair, and we look forward to having everyone back. Tickets are on sale now, ncstatefair.org. Advanced tickets are available right now, and our ticket sales are going well. While we certainly respect and watch current conditions, we do feel that the 2021 edition of the State Fair can move forward. will be a safe event. We depend on the public and the fairgoers to do their part. We encourage vaccination. We encourage people to be mindful of their behavior as they're on the fairgrounds, to respect others. This is a crowded place, can be a crowded place with, particularly on busier days, the weekends. We encourage people to come on weekdays. We encourage people to watch, be respectful and mindful of the people around them, and give each other a little bit extra space this year. We are currently under no mandated restrictions, and do not anticipate at this time that there would be any capacity or mandated mask or those types of things. With that, Lori,
Okay, awesome. So I'll go ahead and again, I'll ask, would anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Lori, could you ask Mr. Kent if any other states that he knows about have such an accomplished history?
So the question is, are there any other states that have any accomplished history such as the North Carolina State Fair?
there are. As I say, we are in the top 20 in terms of fairs. That's based on attendance. In terms of quality, we rank even higher than that. But a lot of the Midwest fairs have long histories. Iowa is going on right now. I'm not sure the number of years, but they are probably as old as North Carolina. The State Fair of Texas is a 21-day fair and has a long storied history. Minnesota, which starts in the next week, is the largest with a little over 2 million attendees, and also a long traditional history. State fairs, well rooted in agriculture. The agricultural community used to come to the state fair to learn the new technologies. They were agricultural expositions to showcase what the ag community needed to learn in a year to see what was available. And those traditions continue today. And those of us in agricultural fairs certainly want to maintain that. The livestock shows, the whole horticultural exhibits, it's important to keep those roots, and that's what will keep these fairs going for many years to come.
Okay, awesome. So would we have any other maybe online guests that would like to ask a question? So I guess I would have a question. So all the activities in the past, I guess they will continue this year also as the normal state fair, such as maybe the truck and tractor pull, I guess all the, where you can go and get the fresh made hush puppies, purchase the pickles. I guess all of those traditions will carry on this year also.
All of those traditions are on for this year. The tractor pull is under contract and ready. The demolition derby is ready to go. The grist mill with hush puppies, all of those traditions will be here and ready to go.
Awesome.
We do have some of our individual food vendors are dealing with things, challenges that all of us are dealing with, and staffing. But so far, everybody is ready to go and coming forward.
And just remember, there a lot of it is outside, so you can be
Yes.
outside. So awesome. Well, so I guess we have covered just about all the topics. Again, if we have any other questions, in person or at home. It looks like you provided a wonderful outline of the history of the state fair, and hopefully the individuals we have online and the individuals that we have here for our in-person will visit this year to the North Carolina State Fair. So actually you can spend a whole day there.
So Lori, to learn more information, North Carolina's ncstatefair.org has all the information about this year's fair. So I invite people to visit that. Always recommend people visit it before coming to the fair to get that information and plan your day. If you want to come and be a part of Making Magic, we are hiring. So if anybody wants to be a part of putting on the fair, there is a hiring page there. Welcome you to visit that. And tickets are on sale. So make your plans and come see us in October. We're excited. It's going to be worth the wait.
And I want to compliment to your social media. They do a wonderful job leading up to the state fair, getting people involved, encouraged, just really getting people motivated to attend the state fair and promoting all the activities that are going on. So also too, I would recommend to our online and in-person visitors, if you are on social media, please make sure that you tag or you connect with the North Carolina State Fair through social media.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for coming all the way from Raleigh to us through Zoom. You know, sometimes we look at technology and virtual programming as not always the easiest to work with. However, it does allow us here in Northeastern North Carolina to have visitors that cannot easily make the trip to Northeastern North Carolina. So, Mr. Kent, thank you very much for joining us today. And again, thank you to everyone for joining us online.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you all very much.